Shalom, shalom, and shalom, Sister Deborah. Coming this evening with a message. Rated R, truth rests within spirit and truth. Rated R, truth rests within spirit and truth. This is going to be a very, very powerful message. Hello in the live chat. It's good to see you. This is going to be a very, very powerful message. I'm going to bring you all the way home on this one. And I want to say I thank the Most High Yah for allowing me to, because this was something I wanted to bring many times. But since something else was added, which I knew, but I just couldn't pinpoint it. But now I know in the fullness that it was what I always thought. Today, Sister Deborah, let me tell you, first and foremost, I invited others on this channel from my old page. But I told them that I was not going to allow no one to come over to the new page that has not supported me in the old page. And the thing that I did was very neat, because I gave them my email and told them to email me, and I give them the new page. If they understand, they must support me. These people were left behind because they refused to support at all. You see? And I was feeling that, okay, I need to start a page where people understand we in this together. And not just Deborah, okay? We're in it together and not just Deborah. Let's say, for instance, Deborah turned away from this platform. Do you know I'm still going to have the Holy Spirit? I'm still going to have my lane. And when we tell you something, he's still going to make sure that I'm at the wilderness to learn everything he needs me to know. You see? I'm still going to be in there. Likewise with you. If you have that in you that's teaching you, guess what? Be about the works and about your Father's business as well. Since you don't want to support someone who know their purpose and know they about the Father's business and even sharing spirit and truth, then go somewhere where you think you got it and do what you do best. And that's what I was explaining to them today. I was on my old page, giving them an opportunity to come to the new page. But like you all that turn to the new page, that same thing I told you to do, go to the email, they refuse to do. So there's some conscious, some guilt somewhere along the line. So I'm not, like I told them today, I'm not going to be pouring out videos on that old page, nor live. I might do it every now and then. And I still might do it every now and then, since the page is still up. But I'm not going to dedicate myself, because it's the same thing. It's not going to get any better. Because you all don't know, it's been going on for years. Okay? So Sister Deborah ain't just stepped in this yesterday. So it's been going on for years. So this message, I'm going to need your help. The reason why I wanted to not put rated X, rated R. I wanted to put rated X. Because I need to tell the truth, y'all. I need to tell the truth of the whole matter. So I really wanted to put rated X. But then I said, no, I'm going to go and put rated R and just speak spirit and truth and let it fall where it needs to fall. But I'm going to take you all the way home in this one, y'all. I'm going to take you all the way there. Okay? I'm going to take you a place you never went and never gone before. And another thing, it's going to cover some things that I've spoke about in time past. But what he's given me today can bring you all the way home. All the way home. Get you there. Okay? I want to talk about some things that was put on my put before me. The Father wants to know Israel as Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, the Israel that was promised to Abraham. He wants me to let you know you're in a time of judgment. You're in a time of tribulation. You're in a time of plagues. You're in a time of the prophecy of the end days, meaning you're there. It's not coming. Tribulation is not coming. Judgment is not coming. Okay? The wrath of Yah is not coming. It's here. The plagues are not coming. It's here. Okay? So you can stand back on the sideline and still tell these people that he's coming, or he ain't got here yet, or he's supposed to be coming. I don't know when he gonna get here. You can say all that you want, but let me tell you, he wanted me to tell you, Chad, it's here already. But this is what he said. He said to me, it's okay. Hear me now, y'all. He says it's okay to be blamed for everything we are in that day. See the ones that are the servants, the chosen one, he's speaking to you. Because you're going to get blamed for things you know that you haven't done and that you're not doing, things you haven't said. You're going to get blamed in a way that you have never been blamed. And that's why he gave me that around by 7:30. He said, okay to be blamed. Because we are going to be blamed for things we ain't even done. He want to let you know that's where you at. Don't let nobody tell you somewhere else. He said, that's where you are at. And he said, we are in that day. And in that day, it was prophesied. They're going to do this. They're going to do this to you. They're going to do this. They're going to do this. And he said, even when they do it, they're going to think they're doing a good thing. I want to tell y'all something else I've learned as a prophetess in this day. I mean, when I say this day, lately, we are some liars. We are in the flesh. We are human beings. We just lie. We ain't got nothing better to do but to lie. We're in the prophecies themselves. And we running around here like ain't nothing going on, ain't nothing came, ain't no tribulation, ain't no judgment, ain't no fire kinder, ain't no plagues took place. Revelation ain't even stepped on the scene. It's a lot of things going on, you guys. A whole bunch of it. Tribulation has started. But because of the deceiver, he's still yet continuing to deceive at a higher level of deception. So people can't even see what's really going on. So the Father wants me to make sure I put this in your ear. It's okay to be blamed for everything. We are in that day that was prophesied. They're not going to blame you if you are of the world. They're not going to blame you if you are the seed and born of the spirit and of the flesh. If you're born of the flesh and you're the seed of Satan, you're not going to get blamed like those that are the seed of the spirit. He only speaking that prophecies to those who are seeds of the spirit. He's not speaking that to individuals who are not. So that's why I also think it's kind of crazy how people don't really get it. But they get the lie. They support the lie. Deborah has to keep in mind that day that we're in is the day for liars. This is their day. You see? We are in a sometime, y'all. So he wanted me to say to you that these things are going to happen, and it's okay to be blamed because you're supposed to be blamed because you are of the light. You have the Holy Spirit in you, the Ruach HaKodesh. You are the seed of the Spirit. You are the seed of the light. So you are the ones they're going to blame. They ain't going to blame nobody else. They're going to be blaming you. So he wants you to know the prophecy is meant for you. And it's okay to be blamed. Just like he told me earlier today around about 5:30 before I left out. He said deportation and birthright is bigger than flesh. It's bigger than flesh. Why? It's bigger than the flesh mind can comprehend. When it looks like they doing something that pleases them, to find out it is the will of the Father way of getting you out of here, you'll wake up and shake up. You will wake up and shake up. And you know what I think too, y'all? Let me tell y'all what I think. I believe that if an individual have the Holy Spirit, I believe Yah would allow their loved ones to walk therein with the anointed ones. I don't know why. I just, you know how he did Job? He got rid of the first 10 children and gave him 10 more. Why? Because he wanted Job to have the righteous ones. You see? So I believe somewhere along the line, even if it takes him to destroy 10, to hand him 10 back, he wouldn't hand him 10 back because he destroyed 10. He was handing him something better than what he had. Praise the mighty God. So somewhere in me, without expounding and telling people it, but just something in me kind of feel that he's subject to do that because he's so just in the way he does things in decency and order. You know, I just think that is something I think he would do for his true servants. Understand what I said? His true servants. I really believe he would do that for his true servants. I really do. So he wanted me to say to you, deportation and birthright is bigger than your fleshly mind can comprehend. He got to get you out. I want to drop this in your ear. When y'all say the prophecies is being met with man, meaning we're looking for the prophecy to be like this, and like this, the way we think it's meaning while we are reading or we understanding it. But the Father say, no. Wicked and evil gonna bring forth the prophecies. See why they thought that the day was just for them, but it's for them to fulfill his will. And I'm gonna tell y'all one thing. I would challenge every pastor that's teaching all these people, apostle, bishop, evangelist, prophet, prophetess, challenge them on that. Because when it all said and done, I'm sitting here beholding him, allowing it, and it's matching the prophecy. But you got to only see it in the spiritual eye because the world think they doing something cunning. They think they doing something crafty. They don't see the right hand. They don't know nothing about the right hand. They think all power is in their hand. They think they doing something and I'm doing this and I'm doing. Please. When he told me this at 5:30, it was with a quiet voice. A quiet voice. Deborah, they trying to set it up like they getting rid of the migrants and sending the Mexicans back and others back. But this all in the making of bringing minds home. It's all in the making. Let me tell you why that got to make sense. I ain't gonna say it got to make sense. It is sense when the Ruach speak it to you. At least to me, it is when he speak it to me. Because the way we have to leave is a way that they going to see us. Like Pharaoh made way, they have to see us off. See, y'all didn't know that, did you? Oh, yes. Oh, yes. You see? Not even, they so ignorant, which is good. They ignorant in the realm of the natural, and they ignorant in the realm of the spirit. That once we off this land, woo! Babylon, gonna go down. People don't even understand Babylon. You can't go after Babylon right now, y'all. Nobody can. Till y'all take his out of here. And they so ignorant to where those that are crafty in Satan already know. That's why they didn't got out of Babylon. They out of Babylon. They bringing Babylon down. None of y'all even thought of it. Nobody would even think of it. Oh, yes, they bringing Babylon down. Everybody on the outside wanted to seem like they trying to destroy America. Seem like they all working together to destroy America. Stupid people, they are. That's who we gonna use to destroy it. Those that are in it and out of it, because they're in here destroying it. Why? It's prophesied. See, they destroying it from the power of flesh. What man can destroy in it. Wait till that right hand step in. But right hand ain't coming nowhere, and man is not going to destroy it to the capacity of the will, because why? We got to get out of here. Oh, yeah, we're going to see some tribulation, some judgments, some wrath. We're going to see them plagues, but limited. Oh, yes, he at the door while we playing. That's how close he is. So he wanted me to let you know deportation and birthright is bigger than your flesh. Fleshly mind can comprehend. You have no idea the plan of the will of the Father to get you out of here. So you can salute all that. But they see but see, they have to. They have to. They don't have no other choice. And they making it look like, oh, we deporting people, and birthright, all this here to have to do what? Us. You see? You all think it has to do with Mexicans and sending them all back over. You got to think now, one brought them all over. Donald Trump, when he was in, he didn't stop them from coming. He tried to play like cover it up. He started even building buildings for them that was coming over. Oh, apartments. Oh, yes, he was. Donald Trump was. At the same time, I'm going to build a wall. I'm going to build a wall. Never built the wall. So it's all in the making, you guys, of bringing us home. Okay? So when you hear people on these devil platforms, especially YouTube, hooping and hollering about deportation, or they trying to do this with us, they do this. When they start to shut up, they're going to hear the Father speak. But nobody won't shut up. Everybody trying to justify, clarify, and identify. We done did. They doing this to us. They doing this. Keep making them self-important. We got to go down so y'all can stand up. But we ain't willing to go down. Israel and Judah ain't willing to go down. But you're going to go down enough, because I see them dropping like flies. I don't know if y'all see that. Men are killing their children, their wives, and women like crazy. And Judah is killing each other like crazy. Like I explained to all males, my children, my ex-husband. We cannot, when I say they are killing, Judah is killing like crazy. They're men, but they're killing their women and their children and their mother and father like crazy. And guess what? They are actually doing it, y'all, successfully. They're doing it successfully. But those are the ones ain't coming home, y'all. They ain't gonna get nowhere near the promised land. Their judgment is right here in this land. And I sit back to the point where last night, I was trying to explain to them this morning, all this tossing. It wasn't a tossing and turning for us sleep. It was a tossing and turning for us. I was somewhere just wondering, why is they doing this here? They doing this. Guess why? He's doing separation right here on this plantation, the United Snakes of America. There are many of Judah ain't coming out of here. Many of them ain't coming out. And you still waiting for judgment. And you still waiting for tribulation. Let me get into my message, because this is a powerful one. I heard a song, a country song. The sound of the music sounded like a nice, soft song. But then I said, wait a minute. Is he actually saying that? This man was saying in this song it was a male to a female. It's a song, so it's supposed to be a love song. But this have to do with my rated R, truth rests within spirit and truth. This is connected to it. But he said, I want you in all the worst ways. In the song. I'm sure that's probably the name of the song. I want you in all the worst ways. Now, it's a love song. But he said, I want you in all the worst ways. That's how bad it is. But I'm going to show you something that not one of you knew. Here we go. You heard me talk about Genesis chapter 1, verse 28. We finna go there now, y'all. This is called rated R, truth. Rest within spirit and truth. There's a message that the Father has not allowed me to bring forth. And I understand it. Because it's rated R. Not rated R, rated X. Okay. But I'm grateful that I was able to step in it, because I questioned and he answered within a quicken. In a sense, almost you knew. When he do that, it's like saying you already knew. So I'm saying to you all out there, there's something that you already know. It's already in you. You already know. It's just your flesh fight up against what's already in you that you know. Now listen to this. In Genesis chapter 1 and verse 28. And then I want you to take a piece of pencil and a piece of paper or a pen and write this down, because you're going to have to bounce it right over to the next verse. Okay. In Genesis chapter 1, verse 28, it says, and Yah blessed them. And Yah blessed them. Okay. Who is them? Put it on your piece of paper. So if Yah bless them, who is them? Even in the live. If Yah, it says, Genesis chapter 1 and verse 28, and Yah blessed them, and Yah said to them, well, who is that them, Father Yah? Who is that them? You keep saying them. Who is that? Who is that them? Okay. Be fruitful and multiply. What is fruitful and multiply. What do he mean? Be fruitful and multiply. Can you say fruitful and multiply is saying the same thing? The man and the woman. Right. Let's say male and female. Because even man, yeah, let's say male and female. Okay. So he said them is representing male and female. Okay. So you're saying fruitful and multiply means the same? Is that what that yes said? Is that what your yes said? Okay. And replenish the earth and subdue it and have dominion over the fish of the sea, over the fowl of the earth, of the air, over every living thing that moveth upon the earth. Who is he talking to? Okay, yes, fruitful and multiply meaning the same. Okay, I agree with that totally. So when he's saying have dominion over the fish, the sea, over the fowl, the air, over every living thing that moveth upon the earth. Who is he talking to? Male? Female? Them as male and female? Who is he talking to? He's talking to male and female, or he just talking to male? Anybody? Okay. And he's talking to male and female. Okay. Now, do you see that? Now, I'm going to show you how thousands of years, or not say thousands, years and years later, how you can see where the Jesuits switched it over. All of this is really rated R. Okay. Because I'm going to talk about some things and you all are going to be all out of order. Okay. In the way you feel, but that's okay. You'll live through it. Okay. So everything you're saying as far as fruitful and multiply meaning the same. What are some of the things that him and her can multiply? And what is it saying about multiplying and fruitful? What is that? What is he saying here? What he says, and Yah said unto them. Notice it says them. He's not talking just to him. He's not just talking to him. He's talking to them. He's not just talking to him. He's talking to them. Okay. Be fruitful and multiply. He's talking to them, or is he talking to him? He's talking to them, male and female. That right there. When you drop the ball from the beginning out of Genesis chapter 1, in the beginning, you know how in the Gospel of John chapter 1 and verse 1 say, in the beginning was the Word, and the Word was with Yah, and the Word was Yah. It was verse 2, with him in the beginning. He wanted to capture you with the full understanding that we can't mess up the beginning. He'll let Satan and the Jesuits and all of them mess up everything, but he ain't gonna let them touch the way he created things. You see? That's why they couldn't touch anything until he created man, and they got into verse 3. But when you come to verse 1, can they swap a few words? He allowed them to, but he did not let them mess with the way he ordered the creation. Did they take a lot of things out? Yes, they did. So here I want you to see in Genesis 1 and 28 how they messed this thing up. And because people refuse, that's why he said in Hosea, they perished, Deborah. But Father, you call them your people. He said, yes, but they perished. But Father, you said that they are your people, but they perish. That shows you, y'all ain't gonna sit here and give you a bottle and keep on pleading and begging with you. He gonna let you perish. Because your rejection and how you reject knowledge. So what is happening? Right there, I'm about to show y'all something. We just went over Genesis chapter 1 and verse 28. We learned that it tells male and female to be fruitful and multiply. And we understand that when he said them, he's speaking of him, male and female. Now, what happened in Genesis 6? What happened? I know they put one thing, and that Eve was tempted. That erased the whole creation out of order. No, it was Adam. Because Eve was not carrying the world. She didn't have the seeds. They were in the man. So the Satan wasn't going to use up his time tempting the woman when she didn't have the seeds. He come down here to deceive who? The world. I know they didn't teach you it, did they? If Satan comes down to tempt, to deceive the whole world. I just did a video on Facebook, and this is what I was telling them. I say, now, watch how the priests, the bishop, the pastors, the apostles, the prophets, the prophetess, the Moorings, the seers, and the watchmen, they quick to say, oh, Satan come down here to kill, steal, and destroy. No! You're wrong. You know how Sister Deborah came down to be a servant of Yah, the prophet, the prophetess? Well, that's how Satan came down. He came down to the earth to what? Deceive the whole world. So before he can kill, steal, and destroy, he must deceive individuals. And that's what people are missing. That's why people here today don't understand why these people go out here and do this and do this and do this. What did he say? In all your getting, get understanding. Why? That's the facts of the whole matter. And that's what the world is missing. Understanding. Understanding that Yah mission Satan's down. When he came down, he had a mission. Number one, Sister Deborah, you come down and from heavens to serve me as a prophetess. When he come down as the wicked one to deceive the whole world. So they so busy saying he come to kill, steal, and destroy. No, baby. He going to deceive you first. That's where we should have been right there. We should have laid it right there. And it'll cause people to understand that he deceived you first and foremost. Before he gets you to kill, steal, and destroy, he must deceive you. Why? Because that's his appointed position, to deceive the whole world. And I, Sister Deborah, salute him. For he have fulfilled what Yah sent him down and allowed him to do. I can't knock that. I can't knock it because it was said from the heavens. He come down to do what? Deceive the whole world. First and foremost, they dropped the ball. They over here said, oh, he come down to kill, steal, and destroy. No. You got to go back to deceive. That's why the whole world got deceived so easily. It's because they skipped over the fact that he come to deceive. Use deception to get you to kill, steal, and destroy. But they missed it. I had to do that for my Facebook page a video for my Facebook page because I wanted them to understand all those pastors, teachers, bishops, and priests, apostles, and Maureen and seers and watchmen, and all these people out here teaching y'all lies. They have taken you all out of the order, and it's okay. It's okay. I salute the fact that it is okay. It's finished, like he said, because everything is out of order. It's all. Didn't he say that the whole world is off course? It's out of order. Well, what am I saying? It's not true. It is. It's over. He ain't coming here to make the crooked straight. But let's get to this here. So here it is. Watch this here. Let's go to Genesis chapter 6 and verse 1. I needed the Father himself to help me right here. Because everything he taught me out of Genesis 6, I'm like looking at this saying, but Father, they keep saying this. Deborah, get in your lane. They're not going to stop saying it, baby. You got a lane, get in it. What he's saying, Deborah, the light going to be light always in you. Spirit and truth going to always be in you. But that ain't going to be, you can't measure where they at, where you at. Stay in your lane. They supposed to do what they doing. Because this bothered me. It bothered me because the world was ended and no one never realized what it was about. Yeah, that hurt me to know. Even to today. Genesis chapter 6 and verse 1. Watch this here. Watch this. And it came to pass when men, do you see men? This men, is this male or female? This, when men, is this male or female? Is this them? Is this them? Is this them? And it came to pass when men, males, began to multiply. When did males multiply by themselves? Go back to Genesis chapter 1, verse 26. Let's go back there, y'all. Genesis chapter 1 and verse 28. And y'all blessed them. There go them. And y'all said to them, be fruitful and multiply. What happened in Genesis chapter 6? They left her out. What's going on? They left her out, y'all. They left her out. They took her out in Genesis 3, but I'm just showing you, they left her out. Genesis chapter 6, verse 1. And it came to pass when men, where's woman? Where is female? Began to multiply. That means men. There start to be a lot of men multiplying. They will multiply. Watch this here. On the face of the earth. How can they multiply without a woman? Maybe men could have babies back then. Watch this here. Multiply on the face of the earth. How can men multiply on the face of the earth? Where is woman? Like Genesis chapter 1 and verse 28 said. You see? Begin to multiply on the face of the earth. Where is woman? Now watch this here. Watch this here. And daughters were born unto them. Where is woman? Where is the female? That was in Genesis chapter 1, verse 28. Where is them? Why is it him? Where is them? Why is it him? Where is them? Why is it him? Now one of you can figure that out, can you? You know why it's him? It's showing you the wicked of males that have taken over the position of a female, and now they rule the side of male and female. Okay, See, y'all didn't know that, did you? You see what I'm saying? What they were doing, and the reason why woman, female, is not in there. You see, and daughters were born unto them. You see them? You see them? It's not in Genesis chapter 1, verse 28. Did not you say he said to them? Where did y'all mess up in Genesis chapter 1, verse 26, 27, and 28, calling them? Multiply and replenish, fruitful. How did it only become him? Man, males. It don't make sense. You know why? Because it ain't any sense in it. But this is what they did to deceive. So I'm sitting here saying to the Father, he's been deceiving them for a mighty long time. And today I can see why it's finished. He didn't deceive people so bad to where nobody know their way, even when they say they do. That's how bad it is. Listen to this. I was whining probably for almost a year to the Father. But they saying this and they saying that, but I don't understand it like that. I couldn't see it, y'all. I couldn't see it the way they was doing it. I see it way I'm even telling you right now. And now I got the full revelation of it. Look at that. Multiplied on the face of the earth. Men begin to multiply on the face of the earth. Where is woman? Where is male? Now watch this here. And daughters were born unto them. Where is the female? Where is mother? Where is the women in this? This is how it is today, y'all. They left the order of the creation from the beginning. And y'all let them rumble in the way of the flesh and serve Satan. The reason why you don't see women here, men were in full control. That's why the world ended. Like the day of Noah, Deborah, tell her, because you still don't get it. See, the reason why he's saying it's like the days of Noah, we run around here, oh, they be partying and drinking, and they, even with Lot, they be partying and drinking. That's not what y'all talking about, y'all. Y'all, it's not talking about y'all. Y'all missing it. Y'all missed it. They're missing something. They're missing the Father's order back in Genesis chapter 6. And all he's saying is, in the days of Noah, guess what, Deborah? They're going to miss it in the end. What are they missing? Spirit and truth. Why are they missing it? Because they've been out of order since Genesis, the beginning, Genesis 1. He created it one way, and they have moved everything out of the way of his order and have gone the way of men. And Yah is not pleased with it, but he's happy with it. He's not pleased with it, but he's happy. He's not pleased that many hell has to be enlarging and many is going therein, but he's happy with the way his will is panning out. So when y'all run around here and talk about, oh, he said it's going to be like the days of Noah and the days of Lot. Guess what, women? Y'all lied. He's only telling you the wicked of men in the days of Noah and in the days of Lot. And we're going to go all the way there. And I'm going to bounce you right off the ball in Romans 1. Yah is saying they've been out of order since the beginning when they took feminine from woman. Her role, her purpose on the earth, and made her something for the bed, a toy for the bedroom. That's why she turned her natural use into that which is not natural. Because man has been living in this sin, this wicked, and this darkness, to the point woman wasn't even worth anything to her, because now what he did. Why is it if I said I took 100 million men and 100 million women You probably have 2% of women that's gay, but you're going to have a good 70% of men that's in the closet and been in the closet, then tested it, liked it, and still in it. You know why? This here, what happened in the day of Genesis, right here, Genesis 6, that call. See, what y'all didn't understand is this. Me as a prophet is in the wilderness. I'm asking him all these questions, and I'm like saying, but, that don't make sense though, Father, but that don't make sense. If he make it make sense, he break that thing down in me to just show me. It always made sense. No, it don't make no sense of how they took everything I created and turned it upside down. No, but it is what it is. Heaven knew about it. So don't get out of it. Get in your lane. Don't get in your lane. Now you know where it's at. Get in your lane. So what has happened here? In the book of Genesis, you lied. And you're going to continue to lie. In the book of Genesis, it's actually telling you the issue with ending the world had to do with men. The issue that was in the garden had to do with Adam. Adam was the world. Eve was just a carrier of one single individual. Adam had the world in him. He had the seeds. What does it look like for her to be tempted over he that Satan is after? He's after the world to do what? What Yah suffered him to do on the earth. And what was that? To deceive the whole world. Did not he do it? Yes, he did. Father Yah, yes, he did. Successfully. I'm a living witness. I ain't gonna sit here and lie. Deceived them big time, y'all. It's over. He's gotten away with it. So what is happening? Then you get to verse 2, and it says, you notice it says, and daughters were born to them. Was them in Genesis chapter 6 and verse 1? Is that them, male and female, or is that male? Talk to me. In Genesis chapter 6 and verse 1, and it came to pass when men began to multiply on the face of the earth, the daughters were born unto them. Looks like men, males. Exactly. What was y'all talking about in Genesis then when he said them? So how did it only become males? Because see, the whole world missed the whole idea of what took place in Genesis chapter 6 and verse 1 that caused. I want y'all to know this here. When I used to raise my hand in the wilderness trying to get some understanding out of this stupidity, I was trying to understand that why is it people are bypassing men? Why are you bypassing? Why are you lying and teaching lies? Why is it man got away with so much? Because he's on Satan's side. He's the one Satan chose, the weak link. That's truly the weaker link. And it's been the weaker link since Genesis. He was the weaker link in the garden. He was the weaker link. Listen to this, verse 2. That the sons of Yah saw the daughters of men. Still talking about men. What about the daughters of males and females? What about what Genesis 1 was saying? Genesis 1 verse 26, 27, 28 call them. But he said daughters of men. How could a man have a daughter by himself? How? Do you want me to tell y'all how? Because they was using dark power. They had ruled over women so bad that they were taking the babies and selling them off as sex slaves to men. They didn't care if it was the sons of Yah. They didn't care what it was. They were selling sex trafficking. And I'm going to tell y'all something that y'all did not know. Heaven's knowing that they're doing it even more today than they have ever. And they're doing it to little babies. And ain't nobody said nothing about it. I went to bed last night and I was tossed and turning and upset about why I'm tossing and turning, but I couldn't remember anything about what I was. But I remember what I watched on television the day prior, that day. It was a lot of things that I wasn't looking for, but I was trying to piece these things together. Why are these men out here killing these women? Why are these men killing these babies? Why are these men killing their mother, their father? Why? Judah! So what happened? Verse 2, Genesis chapter 6 and verse 2, that the sons of Yah saw the daughters of men, that they were fair, and that they took them wives of all which they could chose. See, mama didn't have a choice. Woman didn't have a choice. These was daughters. And how did pastors and bishops and priests get away with on this earth not teaching this truth? So when you look at today, he says, like unto the day of Noah. Spirit and truth is being told. It's rated R, y'all. The truth, the rated R truth is they were sex trafficking their daughters at young ages. That's why they wasn't going to call them women. They were daughters of all ages. My question was this in the wilderness. What would possess you, Father? See, I'm allowed to do that. Why? Because I ain't got no sense. He know it. I ask all kind of questions. What will possess you to create all this just to destroy within a blink of an eye? What would you, why you ever? Did he not know that they were going to do this? Sure he did. Guess what else he knew, y'all? Guess what else he knew? As soon as I clean that up, Deborah, destroy everything. When everything start back, it's going to be worse than the first time. People sick. I don't understand how they missed that. Even in your days, Deborah, what you said? Like the days of Noah. Didn't I tell you? They still got away with him. Listen to this. Verse 2, that the sons of Yah saw the daughters of men, that they were fair, and they took them wives of all which they chose. The problem I had was I could not believe that Yah was allowing people to take the sons of man and make them something or the reason why things were the way that they were. Somewhere something went wrong, y'all. Why? Because it allowed man to escape. It allowed the males to escape. And y'all too ignorant to see it. That's how they escaped. And when he built it over, they repeated it because they got away with it the first time. And they repeat the cycle. We're going now. I'm taking you there. I'm going to show you where they repeated it. They repeated the cycle. Even to today. Men are raping their little bitty girls like it ain't like they own them, just like this right here. Just like this right here in Genesis chapter 1. That's what they were doing then, and that's what they're doing today. And women ain't having no part in it. But it's okay with them. They've given these men leeway to have their children just to keep their man. Verse 2 said, I got a little secret in here, y'all. Just keep it watch. Verse 2 said that the sons of Yah saw the daughters of men, that they were fair, and they took them wives of all which they chose. Now here we go. Verse 3. And Yah said, My spirit will not always strive with man, for that he also is flesh. He's talking about the sons of Yah. See, a lot of people think the sons of Yah was what they want y'all to believe. The sons of Yah was just what it says. They were just what it says. They were the sons of Yah. But when they saw what the men were doing with their daughters, why did everybody in the world bypass that? And what did they do? They jumped on the sons of Yah. They bypassed the reason why Yah destroyed the world. Because had not the men was multiplying and started having babies and start selling them off to other men, then that way he would not have ended the world. And guess what? And the sons of Yah would not have been out there seeing what men were doing. See, nobody clicked. Nobody clicked in on that. No one ever gave it a thought. If you take Genesis chapter 6 and erase verse 1, the world wouldn't be in. That's what people don't understand. The world wouldn't be in. Why? Because males wouldn't found a way to multiply their females to sell them off to males. Sex trafficking, they call it today. Why? So watch this here. Take away verse 1. Genesis chapter 6, verse 1. Take that away. Okay? You get down here to verse 2. And the sons of Yah take away daughters of men. Was fair. And took them wives as they pleased. Take that away. And what you will get. The world would still been here. But because we turned around like we did everything else, we listened to these priests, these bishops, these apostles, these prophets, these prophetess, these pastors, these Mories, these seers, these watchmen, and all these people who it's balled up in a bunch of lies, teaching this thing out of the order of the Spirit. You can't teach this without the Spirit. I'm here to tell each and every last one, you need to stop trying to teach this without the Ruach HaKodesh, because it can't be taught. Because the only one come to teach you all things is the Holy Spirit, which is the Ruach HaKodesh. And if he don't teach you, you ain't going to learn. Not even listening to me, you ain't going to learn. He has to teach you from within. Because before anything was on the outside, it was what you were on the inside. See, that's what people, another thing is a scapegoat to the whole world. Especially those who talk about they all let in something. You got to rout the spirit before you rout the flesh. But they don't have the respect for the spirit. That's why they serve the flesh. Now listen to this. If you take the first verse off, the first verse in Genesis chapter 6, and in Genesis chapter 2, where men had daughters, take that off. And I can guarantee you the world wouldn't end. The world end because men were selling babies for sex trafficking. First and foremost. Oh, they painted the picture real good. All the sons of men went into the daughters. And yes, a lot of things took place, y'all. But the ultimate thing was Genesis chapter 6 and verse 1. And when you go into verse 2, you see men selling their daughters off. And nobody said a word. Why? They got out of the order of Genesis chapter 1. Even to the point where he said, multiply and be fruitful and multiply. He said it to them, male and female. Where alone in Genesis 1, you don't see female. Where you don't see them. When did this man, it says, begin to multiply on the face of the earth? The men. Now watch this. And the daughters were born unto them. Well, wait, hold up. Where is woman? Where is male? That's how out of order they were. They've been out of order. Men had stole feminine image of Yah off the earth. And that's why you got all these men homosexual, y'all. That's why you got the majority, 80% of our men, whether you believe it or not, who gives a rat's behind. If they didn't tipped in it and dipped in it, they there. Because it ain't no such thing for you to go over in this area and be a homosexual or mess with men on men and then come out and say, I got a wife and kids and now I ain't like this. You in there, baby, because y'all saw it. Whether your wife saw it, your kids, or you see that man ever again, you in there. Seen it all. Not only seen it all, knew it all. Same thing in Genesis 6. No one really got what was going on. So when you get to verse 3, it says, and Yah said, my spirit shall not always strive with man, for that he is also flesh, yet his days shall be 120 years. Watch it now, watch it. Let me see what verse it's at. I'm going to be okay. Watch this here. There were giants in the earth in those days, and also after that, when the sons of Yah came into the daughters of man. So it's telling you there were giants in the earth in those days. And also after that, okay, when the sons of Yah came into the daughters of man. See, they keep calling these daughters of man. And no one ever questioned, well, wait a minute, where's Woma? He can't have daughter by itself. Where is female woman? He has disgraced her. He has put her so low that he can have her to have babies after babies after babies, like in Genesis chapter 1 and verse 1, and sell them off to men. They doing that today too. A woman today would do it just to have a man. She don't care what he do to her child, long as she can have a man. So what happens? So watch this here. And they bear children to them. Wait a minute, let's go again. Then the sons of Yah came into the daughters of men, and they bare children unto them, and came before they became mighty men, which were of old, men of renown. Now watch this here. Stay with me. Verse 5, and Yah saw that the wickedness of man was great in the earth. How did they escape that? How did they escape what Yah saw? Why is it y'all don't want to own up to the fact that Yah saw what men were doing? Why? How did they get away with it? That's what happened to Sodom and Gomorrah. That's what happened in the book of Judges. That's what's happening now. What you mean, Deborah? That's why he came and said that it's going to be like the days of Noah. And because you missed it that time, you're going to get it this time. You see, that's why knowledge got to increase. So you can get it now, what you couldn't get then. You see? So here in verse 5, it says, and Yah saw that the wickedness of men. It's saying man. But it should have been men. Was great in the earth, and that every imagination and thought of his heart was only evil continual. What is he talking about? Go to verse 1. That's who was doing it. Men. And here the world is in tribulation and in judgment, and they got away with that. So when we sit around here and talk about how the oppressors and United Snakes and done this, you see, there's things that went deeper than that we didn't got away with. Not just we, but the whole world. There's a lot of things y'all done seen and know that has gotten away. Because my issue have been, even when I was a young girl, how are you letting them get away with all this stuff? Because he let me see it for what it is. And I'm like saying, well, how are you letting them get away with all of it? It's confusing, people. But yet, I can understand it better each day. So what happened? He says in verse 5, and Yah saw that the wickedness of man was great in the earth. He didn't say the wickedness of giants. He didn't say the wickedness of the sons of man. He said the wickedness of man was great in the earth, and that every imagination thought of his heart was only evil continually. Verse 6, and it repented Yah that he made man on the earth. There it is. You see that? He didn't say because he made nothing but man. It repent him that he even made man on earth. See that? Verse 6. Verse 6, and it repent Yah that he made man on earth. And it grieved him at his heart. See, no one never thought that Yah has a spiritual heart. That's how he feels with his spiritual heart. But look what he says. Okay, let's do this here. Verse 6, and it repent Yah that he made man on the earth. When did he do that? Wasn't that in Genesis? Chapter 1 and chapter 2? He spoke it, and then he made it with the right hand. It repented him. That right there is the key, y'all, that's missing. Men have been getting away with all this wicked and evil on the earth. Why? Because Satan chose them as the weakerling to do what? To deceive the whole world. That's why James Brown can sing. This is a man's world. He knew it. Oh, yes. Many of the people who sung, they knew it. And they had the power to keep it hidden. But when he pulled up and later on, and it says it's going to be like the days of Noah, you got to match. What was it in the days of Noah that caused it, Yah, to end it? What were they doing? Oh, they'll get to tell you, oh, they was partying, drinking, and giving in marriage. See, and giving in marriage, give in. You give in marriage. You giving these babies to these men. Building and selling, planting, and all this other stuff to throw you off. Let's get to core. Let's get to the core of it. Males. That's what caused Yah to end the world. It was no longer them as male and female in his image. It was only male doing the workup. Okay, y'all don't believe me? Let's go there. Let's go there. Let's go to Hebrew chapter 13, verse 4. Let me see if this is a part of my lesson or if this is a part that was stuck in here. I don't know. Hebrew chapter 13 and verse 4. And can they go around and try to clean that mess up quick? Why? It's been thousands of years, y'all. They done got away with it for thousands of years. What do you think? They're going to get away with another 1,000. So they think. But they're going to get away with it because they're going to be in the lake of hell. Okay. Let me see here. Hebrew chapter 13 and okay. Watch this here. I'm going to add this to it because this is called rated R truth. Rest within spirit and truth. This is what the Spirit gave me. When you get to Hebrew chapter 13 and verse 4, it says, marriage is honorable in all, and the bed undefiled. But whoremongering and adultery, Yah will judge. Men today think that the bed is undefiled. That means anything can go. Any and everything can go. Use a lie from the pit of hell. Use a liar from the pit of hell. Can't everything go? They put in here, marriage is honorable in all, and the bed is undefiled. What they didn't understand is either y'all gonna be the one that pleases your flesh or the one that pleases your spirit. He is not gonna create an environment where you can do any and everything in your bed to your flesh. When do y'all focus on your flesh in the bedroom? When? When he turned around and said, I created Adam and Eve, he put them in there naked. Why? Because he wanted them to understand a naked body is supposed to be looked at as innocent. It's not supposed to be looked at as lust, abomination, porno, pleasure. See, they missed it. They really missed it. That's why a woman always come out under the bottom. Under the bottom. And the man come out on top. Always. They always come out on top. I remember when I was staying in Georgia, just to hear those women tell me that they were never getting satisfied. I said, you been with them that long? Never was. Because they own, this is sin from Genesis, y'all. That feminine and that masculine wasn't worked into oneness. And if they would have been obedient and went into a oneness of a unity the way Yah had created them, then they would have explored the things that's deeper than the flesh. Yah would have showed them how to love each other beyond the flesh, how to desire one another and want one another's presence. Every time he can be married to her 40 years, he touched her hand. She could have been married to him 60 years, and all she had to do is rub his head. But men has placed all of this wicked into all of this. And this is what you see today. The same product of yesterday. And I just learned something today. And I said, but Father. He said, but Deborah, it's just like you said. You remember you said that? And that's what made me go back to Genesis chapter 6 and verse 1. Father, this is where I've been asking you for years. The error, the wicked, the wrong was right here in Genesis 6 and 1 among men and what they were doing. They got away with it again, y'all. Just as they did in the garden. They fixed that thing up. And people were so deceived by darkness to believe that all of that didn't have no connection, none whatsoever with what is righteous. You see, they did it, and that's why it kept being. Let me do this right quick. 1 minute. Okay. This is what it has always been. So you remember I was telling y'all in Isaiah chapter 4, where the men tell you they're going to have 7 women to 1 man. I finally got one Hebrew brother, broke that thing down to them, and they still said that was a lie. I was like, see, you can't win. It's too late, y'all. Look how long they've been living that lie. Look how long that lie been out. So when you get to Hebrew chapter 13 and verse 4, it tells you a marriage is honorable in all, and the bed is undefiled. But whoremongers and adulterers Yah will judge. What they teach in the Hebrew men mean you can do anything in the bed, any and everything. They still doing, they done stole a woman. They have stolen a woman's feminine image of Yah. Her purpose, y'all. Yah gave her a purpose and it's been stolen even to today. Just imagine if it was the way that he created it, the way he had designed it from the beginning. Even though we can't even go back there because we don't know what it would look like. This is why so much chaos is in the study guide. This is why. It's because no one wants to own that thing. And they're not going to. This is when he say to me, it's finished. Because all stuff that I'm telling y'all, that's how far back it was and is today. Wicked and evil. Now watch this here. The reason why I gave you Hebrew chapter 13 and 4 is because the Hebrew Israelite men and many pastors, they teach this thing about you can do anything in the bedroom, use a lie from the pit of hell. Get somewhere and sit down, devil. Use a liar. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go to Romans chapter 1, verse 17. We got to go there, y'all. You can't just do anything. That same thing what they did in Genesis chapter 1 when the world ended, the day of Noah. Same thing they did in Sodom and Gomorrah. Same thing they did in the book of Judge. Same thing they doing today. Come on now, y'all. When is y'all going to find truth? When is somebody going to look at it and say, wait a minute, y'all, we had it wrong? They're not going to. That's the penalty for somebody like me. What do you mean, Deborah? That's what long suffering is for. That is what endurance is for. To help me along the way. Because this ain't nothing that I can change. Because Yah has left it here and they have lied. So this is why I say to you all, Satan has successfully deceived the whole world. That's how he did it. It wasn't about killing, stealing, and murdering and destroying. He had to first deceive you to get to that level. Did y'all know that? No, he can't kill, steal, and just go around killing, steal, and destroy. He has to deceive you to have the mindset to do the things he wants you to do. He has to deceive you there. And he has done an excellent job. And I said that in the wilderness to the Father. I said, Father, he has done an excellent job. He has deceived the whole world. So here in Romans chapter 1 and verse 17, listen to this. Listen to this. In Romans chapter 1 and verse 17, it reads, For therein is the righteousness of Yah revealed from faith to faith. You see that faith to faith? That means the faith one has and the faith that another have. Now, this is not the faith of the flesh. This is the faith that you have branded in your spirit. Yes, it's the faith that is branded into your spirit. So when you see verse 17, it says here, for therein is the righteousness of Yah, the righteousness of Yah, the righteousness of Yah revealed then from faith to faith. So don't think that you're going to get righteousness out of those who have no faith. If they're not branded with one of the four, then therefore they cannot have faith. See, people thinking that they can use their fleshly faith to work out their spiritual faith. No, you can't. You can't mix them because they can't get along. One is for the flesh and one is for the spirit. This one here, he's telling you, for therein is righteousness of Yah revealed from faith to faith. Watch this here. It is written the just, you know what just mean? Righteous. Just mean righteous. The righteous shall live by faith. Didn't I tell you the brands? You have to be branded in your spirit. See, everybody in the world calling themselves righteous. Did y'all know that? Everybody in the world said they got faith. So how can you distinguish? He's telling you. He's telling you right here that they have to have my brand. And then it tells you in verse 17, the just, that's justice, righteous, shall live by faith. Live is in your flesh by faith. You see, those are people who are born of the Spirit he's talking about. He's talking to those who are born of the Spirit. Now watch this here. Verse 18. For the wrath of Yah is revealed from heavens against all ungodly, unrighteous of men. The whole world don't understand that when the Jesuits went to put man in place of everything, it pretty much showed me who they were, who men were, who men are, who men going to be all the way to the end. That's why they sit here telling y'all that even when they go to the promised land, they're going to have 7 women to 1 man. And if you're thinking they saying this out of a righteous way, no, they talking about lust. Oh, we're going to get 7 men we're going to have 7 women to 1 man. And teaching Judah tribes. They're trash. These men are teaching. These camps are teaching these men that. And they're looking forward to it. That's the sickness he said. Like the days of Noah. This is what is going on. So here it is. It says the unrighteousness of men who hold. See right here? Who hold the truth in unrighteousness. They hold the truth in unrighteousness. Why did he saying them? Why did he saying male and female? No one ever gave that a thought. He know what he's saying. See, they thought they was being smart, stripping her from her identity and her purpose. And they did. That's how you get on these devil platforms. And now even the Europeans are saying that it is a women not supposed to speak. They're starting to say it. They done took your identity in Genesis chapter 1 and then turn around telling you today. Keep quiet. Shut up. 99.15 trillion don't even have any idea that their own men, the forefathers, have destroyed the creation out of the order in which Yah had created it. And he didn't stop to put it back in order. He let it run its course because it's still going according to his will. He going to deal with it at the end. Now listen to what he says in verse 8. And the wrath of Yah is revealed from heavens against all ungodly and unrighteous. He calling them ungodly and unrighteous of men. Because that's what they were in Genesis, y'all. Chapter 6. And everybody bypassed it. Watch this here. Who holds the truth. Meaning they know better, y'all. But they under unrighteousness. Hold the truth in. The truth is here. And they hold this truth in unrighteousness. Meaning darkness, wicked, and evil. So when you sit back and you think these people don't know what they're doing, they're not aware of what they're doing, they hold in unrighteousness. They hold in truth, meaning they know better, but they choose to live unrighteous. Okay? And it says, verse 19, because that which may be known of Yah is what? Manifested in them. See how y'all, he's letting you know in verse 19, because that which may be known of Yah is manifested in them. For Yah has shown it unto them. These women are allowing these men to escape all this wicked and evil, and all they care if I have a man in the bed with me and don't even understand, baby, you ain't even getting the deal. that heavens has ushered unto you. You ain't nowhere near it. You ain't nowhere close to it. And you ain't going to get to know what it's like. Because they have lived, these women have lived the way of the flesh of a man. And they felt living was about pleasing a man, making sure he ruled, he king, he this, he that. And even when it came down to two coming into a oneness, when it come down to pleasure, it was always one short. Every woman on the face of this earth would tell you, always came on the short end. No one ever thought, well, that's why they don't last. Because y'all did not create it for you to take advantage of it the way that you have done. You see? So this is why right here today, women are married 20, 30, 40, 50 years, husband dead, been married a long time, and they can stand the truth of the whole matter. If they, before they leave here, tell the truth, they'll tell these women the truth. It's nothing in it for you. They have stripped a woman from everything Yah created her to be, which was his image. You hear that old nutball Dow turn around and say, he didn't create a woman with his image, only a man. Use a fool, and you're going to live a fool and die a fool. Because the image is a spirit. And he gave every man and woman, boy and girl, a spirit when they came here. Male and female, we all inherit a spirit that came to us through the breath. Okay, so here it says in verse, let me see where I'm at. In verse 19, because that which may be known of Yah is manifested in them, for Yah has showed it unto them. For the invisible things of him from the creation of the world. See there, Yah? It's still, you in Romans. This is Paul speaking. In Romans, y'all, chapter 1. Why is it taking you back to the beginning when things were created? Why is this verse taking you back? Why is verse 20, Romans chapter 1, verse 20 said, the invisible things of him from the creation of the world are clearly seen? What do he mean by that? Being understood by the things which are made, even the eternal power. Woo! I've taught on this devil platform that the power was the word and the word was the power. People dropped the power. See how much stuff they took out of Genesis? That's why they never knew what was going on when he said, let us. He was talking to his own power. Because his power is his word, and his word is his power. When he's speaking, his power brings forth whatever he's speaking. They work hand in hand. When Yeshua told Elijah to get up, did he get up? That's that power. It'll raise dead. We missed that. Today, we don't know nothing about that. We can't get back to it, y'all. We can't even go back to straighten it up. We can't go back to get it right. Listen to this, verse 20. For the invisible things of him from the creation of the world are clearly seen. So he's telling you, your eyes see it. Being understood. You understood it by the things which were made. You understood it. Even his eternal power and Godhead. Praise the mighty God. Who is his Godhead? The word, the spirit, the power. So that they are without excuse. That's what y'all living on. Excuses to justify all this wicked that Satan has conquered to go his way. They won't preach this, y'all. They won't teach this. They never did and never will. They have messed this stuff up, y'all, from the floor up. And ain't no turning back. That's why he says long suffering and endurance. He's not talking about people in the world, people who are born of the flesh. He's talking about the individual who's born of the spirit. That's who he's talking to. So here, verse 21, because that when this, now he just told you from the beginning, he set the pace. It tells you right here. It tells you here from the creation of the world. It's all clearly seen and understood. Meaning we are not going to get off this earth escaping the fact, oh, I didn't know, or they didn't tell me, or I didn't know that, I didn't know. No. He said, check your destiny. No. See where you going. Since you want to play dumb, he's already done let us know. You see how he done let us know already, and we still wants to stand around and deny it. And it's okay. It's over. It's finished. If you come down here crooked, you ain't going to be made straight. Okay. Verse 21, because that, now this is what he's saying, because that when they knew Yah, when did they know it? From the beginning of creation. They glorify him not as Yah, neither were thankful. Remember they just got to talk about the beginning? This is where they took away her and made it him and turned them into them, men. Okay? But because vain in their imagination and their foolish heart was darkened. I think y'all just missed it. It went over your head. Romans chapter 1 and verse 21. Because that when they knew Yah, they glorified him not as Yah, neither were thankful, but became vain in their imagination. Remember Genesis chapter 1? Genesis chapter 6, verse 1. What did it tell you? In Genesis, every imagination was wicked and evil. You see that? And we wait now in Romans. He's still talking that same thing that was said in Genesis chapter 6, that end the word. You see that? Ain't that deep? See what I'm saying? You see how time and thousands of years then gone by and everything is repeating itself and nobody sees nothing. Because man has made this day world. And Yah has let him keep it because it's where he assigned Satan to come. And Satan come down to deceive the whole world. See how I tell y'all he's done a great job? Do you see the point in why I say he's done an excellent and a good job? There it is. Vain in their imagination and in their foolish heart was darkened. That same thing you see. Let me go there. Genesis chapter 6. Let me get there so I can show you. It's just trying to, what Sister Deborah trying to show you is this is a repeated cycle. Even to today, when Sister Deborah trying to figure out why are they doing this here? Why is it everybody so hung up on this sex, this anal sex, this oral sex, all these things that are abomination? You ain't got no business doing that stuff even in your bedroom. And I'm going to break it all down to you. And yes, it is truly rated X. Genesis chapter 6, and I don't care. Genesis chapter 6 and verse 5. Now watch this. And Yah saw that the wicked of man was great in the earth, and that every imagination of their thoughts of their heart was only evil continually. Then you way over here. Now here we go, way over in Romans. And who's talking about it? Paul. Way over in Romans. And what Paul is saying. And Paul said it here in verse 21. Because that when they knew Yah, they glorified him not as Yah, neither were thankful, but became vain in their imaginations, and their foolish heart was darkened. That's what Genesis chapter 1, Genesis chapter 6 said. See? I'm getting ready to show you how everything is being repeated, y'all. Everything is being repeated over and over while they're trying to let me get this here right quick. These people just, they don't get it. They don't get it. They're continue over and over and over, not getting, not understanding at all. And it's like it's still going according to his will. That's why don't play with this thing and thinking you going straight through this kingdom. Don't think you going there. We all gonna die. Sister Deborah gonna pass away. But you know what? I'm gonna tell you something. Before I go, I want to make sure I put out spirit and truth. Okay, I know I got to go, y'all. I know I do. I'm no different than nobody else. But I want to put out all the spirit and truth that has been hidden since the book of Genesis, chapter 1. Okay, now listen to what it says. Verse 22, Romans chapter 1, verse 22. Listen to what they're doing. Professing themselves to be wise. That's what the Hebrew Israelites doing. Men, period. They're professing themselves to be wise. But it says they became fools. Same way in Genesis chapter 6 when he ended the world. This is the same way Yah felt about men when he ended the world. And when you do not see female detached to anything. You see daughters, those were kids. Those were babies they was having. You see what I'm saying? As many as they chose. You see? So these things wasn't just the sons of Yah connecting to them. Those were, see what y'all missed. I'm going to show you the bigger picture to show you. And you're going to say, oh, Sister Deb, I would have never caught that. The bigger picture, what you're missing is when it says the men were multiplying. That's why y'all got lost. What you mean they were multiplying? The men was in the earth, they were multiplying. So they were also taking the daughters. They were taking these little girls and these little babies and using them for sex tools. So it wasn't so much as just the sons of Yah. The sons of Yah saw what the men were doing. There it is. They saw what they were doing. And that's what made them choose and desire to copycat what men were doing. Genesis chapter 6. Father, y'all help me. Genesis chapter 6, it tells you right at the first verse, and it came to pass when men began to multiply on the face of the earth. There it is. Why are they multiplying? Why is it important to us to know that men are multiplying and not women? Why is it important to us to know males were multiplying and not females? They kicked the female off. The women. They ready to deal with the daughters. So if you think for 1 minute those daughters were women, use a lie from the pit of hell. These were babies. That's why the men were taking them. Sex trafficking kids. That's why he said it's going to be like the days of Noah. Because y'all didn't catch it, what took place in the days of Noah, and you still ain't going to catch it. That's why the wrath bringing tribulation. And it says in Romans chapter 1 and verse 23, and change the glory of the incorruptible Yah into an image like made like a corruptible man. They flipping Yah to be like a man. Every Hebrew Israelite have turned him to be like a man. What do it mean when he says that they turned him into like a corruptible man? What do you mean, Father Yah? What are you saying? How did they turn you into a corruptible Yah? Because they got all y'all fools out there believing that he's likened to the flesh of a man. Oh, he got many wives. They didn't turn him into the flesh of a man. Y'all, they've been doing that for years. They have belittled the Father for years, and look how long he allowed it. Why? Because he got an end game, y'all. The Most High Yah got an end game. Now listen to what it says. And change the glory of an uncorruptible Yah. You see that glory? They stripped Yah from his glory. So if they stripped my Father from his glory, what the rats behind you think they done to woman? They stripped her from her glory. They stripped her from her spiritual image, which is feminine, on the earth. They even stripped her from her position to have dominion on the earth. They stripped her from everything and made her a sex toy. That's why in Genesis chapter 6, it's trying to let you know these men were even tossing and turning their daughters as sex trafficking. That's why they want you to think, the sons of Yah did this here, or the giants. No, Yah said, bag that thing and land that thing down right there. It was me. Then who you going to say did it here? He said the same thing here in Romans chapter 1. He's saying the same thing. But he's saying it's men. So how is it that you are going to make it? Because they've been lying for Satan. And Satan been lying with them. So it says that verse 23, Romans chapter 1 and verse 23, and changed the glory of an uncorruptible Yah into an image made like a corruptible man, and to birds and four-footed beasts and creeping things. You see, they turned Yah and made him like the flesh of a man. I told y'all that. I told y'all. That's the only way they could get away with what they're doing. They put woman under and stripped her and put her strictly under their feet. And they took Yah and made him a man like them. I didn't say that. You can find it in more than one in the study guide. They always did that, y'all. I knew that. I told y'all. There's no honor. There's no respect. None whatsoever. He's turning around telling you they took his glory and made an uncorruptible Yah into an image made like an incorruptible man. They don't want to see Yah to be anything but what they want to fool the world to be. That's why I said the Hebrew Israelites have wrong. A lot of them ain't making it to the promised land, y'all. That's why he's going to bring up on his own men, multitude, and they're not going to be out of the four corners, y'all. They're not. The four corners going straight to the wilderness so he can purge who's coming to the promised land and who's not. The Hebrew Israelite won't teach him that. They won't teach him that. And the people out here acting a fool and doing what they doing, and you thinking y'all gonna collect all of them and take them to the promised land? Come on now, y'all. Too much stuff going on. And Judah in a heap of trouble. Oh, Judah is in so much trouble. He's going to have to fall with Babylon or worse. That's the only way I can see it. Either he fall before we get out of here, which they are doing, or after. But what problem I have is, Father, they're taking too many with them. They falling and they taking so many of them with them. But then, Yah, life and death is in him. Okay, so what happens here? Here we go. We in 24, Romans chapter 1, verse 24. Wherefore, Yah also gave them up to a uncleanness through the lust of their own heart. See, everybody thinking that these men are all that and some. And these women are marrying these men. And this one man is sitting on the, that's what happened. That's probably why I had all that tossing and turning last night. This one man was like, he met this lady and she had already 3 beautiful children. And that was a beautiful woman. Oh man, she had herself together. And she took him and he said, I told her. He got on nationwide television. He was married to her, 6, 7, 8 years? And he said, I told her before she met me. I told her I like many women. I told her I've been in prison. I told her I got a behavior problem. I told her I am violent. I told her, but she kept insisting on being with me. 8 years. And he just took her out one day and murdered her. And was planning on murdering the kids, and he was going to set the house on fire. And he on nationwide YouTube telling it. That's what she get. She shouldn't have trusted me. She shouldn't have believed in me. And I said, Father, hold up, Father, yeah. And you know what he reminded me? He said, how many times you have seen that? This same situation. And I'm like, but Father, 2 minutes. Oh, see, y'all run y'all tails around here and think we are not in a time. Something wrong with y'all. If you think this isn't time for you to really prosper and be on high on a hog and baby, let me tell you something. It's time for you to steer everybody that you come in tune with to the light, to spirit and truth. Tell them the truth. Even if they don't accept it, at least you know you done planted something. Maybe he can increase it. Maybe y'all increase it. Okay, so here it says in verse 24, Romans chapter 1, verse 24, wherefore y'all gave them up to uncleanness. Do y'all know what uncleanness means? Thought. It's in their thought already. The lusts of their own heart. That means to please your own flesh. He turned you over to it, baby. To even dishonor their own bodies between themselves. So who was he talking to? All you have to do is go back to the beginning where we were at. He's telling you in Romans chapter, let me get it for you. Chapter 1 of Romans, and you start to read it. He's talking to men, males. He said he done given you over. This is in Romans. You know how a woman would sit and she would marry a man in prison or a man that's on the dating site and he done did all kind of things and she'd take him in and he murdered her. Well, see, this here would have set a lot of women free in the way they choose men in their lives to have baby bow or even to bring them around themselves. But these women are choosing these men that is loaded with demonic, wicked ideas of murdering, killing. So when you run around here and tell people that Satan come down to kill, steal, and destroy, no, he come down to deceive, to use deception. And after he have deceived and used deception, then he kills, steal, and destroy. You see, they got it all out of order. You don't hear nobody ever using Satan coming down to deceive, use deception. Oh, they don't want to use that. They want to go to kill, steal, and destroy. But baby, you done jumped over the wrong line, in the wrong line. You first he have to use deception. He has to deceive you. This man wanted to kill her from the get-go. But through deception, did he hang in there and let her take care of him? Oh, they did so many things together. And did you know her friends and everything, they had no idea that he was like that. They said they would have never thought he would have done something like that. So you see how deception? And he got on YouTube and announced, he gave a TikTok and sat there just as calm. I told her, that's what she get. I told her I had a bad attitude. I told her I've been in the jail for years. I told her that I have a behavior problem, that I've done bad things and all. She insists. Beautiful woman. Beautiful woman. Educated and everything. And a lot of the educated women of Judah is going down. Many of them are dying. Men are taking their kids out. Women are taking their kids and stuff out too. But if you stay in tune with the Ruach, he'll show you who's who and what's what. Because males have gotten away with it. And that's why they out here killing and doing everything. Because they have deceived and used deception to strip women away from everything Yah had given them in the beginning. Snatched it straight from under them. And they never returned back to their Yah-given position. Y'all don't think that's sad? For a woman never to return back to what y'all had created her for. And you don't even think that's sad. And what the Father is letting you know, when he gave them up to an uncleanness thoughts of lust of their own heart, to dishonor their own bodies between themselves, that's masturbation. That's porno. See, he knows that they had already did this. He turned them over so they can do all the things they want to do. You see how women, that left nothing for you. See? That left nothing for you. A man that masturbate continually can never please you like a woman would need to be pleased. You see? It's enough women don't be pleased. They be cut off. Okay? Because they're so busy trying to please that man, to have that man in their bed and please him. They're so busy doing that they're being cut off. Okay? So what happens? Right here, he tells you, he let them play with their own self. That's what he tell you. I told y'all it was rated R. It should have been rated X because you ain't heard nothing yet. He let them play with themselves. That's why they can't give you what they need to give you. They don't have nothing to give. That's why. Okay? And he says here, and he said you between themselves, their own body, their own lust, between, and this, they to dishonor their own body between their own selves. He's talking to men. Now watch this here. Who changed the truth of Yah into a lie, and worship and serve the creature more than the creator. I told you. You don't know, but they have turned everything over to Satan. They have been deceived. Who is blessed forever. They turned away from Yah. And I'm not, women would say, oh, no, not mine. Oh, my husband is, my husband is. Oh, you say whatever you want. There are a lot of men out there are good men and are good husbands. But Yah just giving you the clean cut of reality. He ain't saying your husband and your wife. He's just giving you the clear cut that, baby, this is how it always been. And if it's worse today, what should that tell you? To don't estimate that you are so set free. Because women don't understand. That's why it's important to seek ye the kingdom first. You want a man out of Yah's own heart, one that loves or shows that he has some desire to know the creator. But we don't care about none of that. None whatsoever. Go and talk to women, grandmothers, great-great-grandmothers. They'll tell you they never was happy a day in their life. And the men will tell you they was a rolling stone. They did. They had baby the south side, the north side, the east side, white side. They travel and had baby. They did all this stuff in the name of stripping the woman from her spiritual position Yah called her to. And she was that weak to let him do it. But I don't think it was so much as she was weak. I think the Jesuits, those who rule the world, set the books up. So it'd always go the way the man said it is. Even when it came down to what he said right here, turning him into like a man. Now here he says in verse 26, for this cause Yah gave them up to the vile affection. Now listen to this. Now this is where I would have an issue. Because people will look at this and they will think that, see, women, y'all, don't be stupid. You can catch the mystery. Listen to the first verse. Verse 26. For this cause, for what cause? Everything he just said. On up to 24, 23, 22, always telling you about men. He said, for this cause, Yah gave them up to unto a vow affection. Them, the men. Now you about to hear all this stuff these men been doing. Guess what happened? Listen to this. For even their women did change the natural use unto that which is against nature. A lot of them will make you think that she went to be gay and homosexual. No. She let him do whatever she wants to her body. And it took it out of the natural use. Men took women out of the natural use. Why? Because they pleasured themselves for so many years their way. To now they want to switch up on the woman because they still trying to get that feeling. Any more freakish and out of the order of creation, that's what they want. That's why the Hebrew Israelite quick to say, and the bed is undefiled. Sit your stupid tails down. Only you, in your lust and in your pleasure, which y'all turn you into, has caused you to go this route. Y'all turned him over, y'all. This is why they changed the natural use of a woman by doing all these things. And a woman went forward. First and foremost, she went forward because she's nothing but under his feet. You see, she didn't know that she's precious as gold. He even told her hair is her glory. But man tell you to wrap it up because you ain't nothing worth nothing but what he wants you to be is on your back. Look how he degraded her out of the order in which Yah called her and called her to have dominion over the things on the earth. And now she's only under your feet. Verse 26. And for this cause gave him up. Gave them. Who is he talking about? Men. Up unto a vile affection. For even their women did change the natural use into that which is against nature. Their natural use. They're changed the natural use of what they are used for a man into that which is not natural. That's why the bed is not undefiled. But you let them tell it. Verse 27. And likewise, also the men leaving the natural use of a woman, burning in their lust one to another, men with men, working that which is unseemly, and receiving themselves the recompense of their error, which was met. If you really look at that, you'll see that the women did what the men wanted them to do. They will make you think the woman, that's talking about a woman went to be unnatural. She turned gay. Don't let them believe. Don't you believe that, baby. Let's go there. Let me show you what I'm talking about. Let's go on there because they would really tell you that. First and foremost, I want to let you know y'all never was caught up in your sexual acts. Y'all was never fascinated with lust. Lust of the body, lust of nothing. All of that is man-made lies. Y'all was never fascinated about the flesh of the body. Why? He made sure it go back to the dirt. That's how it didn't mean nothing to him. But the flesh of men and women look at what they're doing with the flesh. They even killing it like they doing something. Like this a Christmas present to them. To go out killing their babies. Their sons. Woo! Saw a lot of that yesterday. Now listen to this. When I get into Genesis chapter 18 and verse 2, I'm going to take you there. Now we're going way back. Yes. I'm going to show you where Yah is not fascinated with you and your lust for flesh. You and your sex and all of your unnatural ways of doing this and doing that. Ain't no such thing as undefiled. The bedroom is undefiled. Sit y'all nasty tails down. Genesis chapter 18 and verse 2. I want to show you something. First and foremost, let me go on what he's telling me. The Spirit is telling me, don't skip this part. I didn't have this wrote in there, but I'm going to go on because he don't want me to skip this here. Okay, Genesis chapter 2 and verse 25. The Father want me to show you how important it is when it was righteous before him, when it was created and it was created under the righteous way, how he placed them to show you and me that it wasn't a lust or desire of the body, of the flesh, because why put yourself in such temptation for that which goes back to the ground? Flesh. I try to tell these people on the other page the same thing. You give everything to the flesh, but you won't give nothing to your spirit. That shows you are born of the flesh, and people will not believe it, but that's what it means. When you don't feel you entitled to any spirit and truth, or you should be fed spirit and truth, you don't want nothing for the spirit, but again, you want to come around and mingle with the spirit, but you don't want to support the one that's giving you food on your plate for the spirit, but you will support everything that this world is feeding you, and you will eat from it. And if they tell you to pay $100, you will pay it. It's sickening, y'all. It's sick. It's getting more and more sickening. But this is also what you call long suffering and endurance. Look at Genesis chapter 2. In Genesis chapter 2 and verse 25, he wanted me to back this back. Now, this is not one of my verses, but this is the verse the Ruach want me to speak on. It says, and they were both naked, the man and the wife, and were not ashamed. So you see, if he thought that it would build up a desire in a female and a male for them to be different and to be naked, he wouldn't have put them in there naked to lust after each other or to desire each other's and to see that each other was different. That shows you from the kingdom, when the Spirit create things, he created for his will and his purpose. And just because we take it out of the way in which he created it and make it about Satan reason and Satan purpose, that's on us. That's why hell has been enlarging, just to make sure you get in. How about that? How about that? Now, here we go. He said in Genesis chapter 2 and verse 25, and they were both naked, and the man and his wife, and were not ashamed. That's a message to every church. That's a message to every woman, a message to every man, but they won't see it. Why? Because it's spiritual. That's why I say they don't have no spiritual respect for y'all for nothing. Like he said, they so busy trying to make him like unto a man, corruptible. Oh, he had many wives. Well, y'all got many wives. Y'all divorced. All that old mess. They so eager to make him like unto them. Now, he's showing this nakedness, and he having me to pull back that way because he's just showing you he never was caught up in what y'all caught up in. So go clown if you want him. You done enough of it. Heaven's got is prepared for each and every last one who think it always been about that. Okay. Now, where we going is to Genesis 18 and verse 2. Now listen to this. In Genesis 18 and verse 2, it says, and he lifted up his eyes and looked, and lo, 3 men stood by him. And when he saw them, he ran to meet them from the tent door and bowed himself toward the ground. So what is Abraham is run up on? Just the Most High and 2 angels, okay, which is 3. Drop down to verse 22. Abraham come upon Yah and 2 angels, okay? verse 22 says, we still in Genesis chapter 18, verse 22. And the men turned their faces from hence and went toward Sodom. But Abraham stood yet before Yah. So Abraham was held back. He stood talking to Yah, and the two angels, which were men, they went on to Sodom. Okay. Now let's go to verse 19, chapter 19. In the book of Genesis, chapter 19 and verse 1, it says, and there came two angels to Sodom at eve, and Lot sat in the gate of Sodom. And Lot, seeing them, rose up to meet them, and he bowed himself with his face toward the ground. So Lot did the same thing Abraham did when they was three. Okay, but two of them went toward Sodom, to Lot. Now, when you get to, we still in verse 19. We still in Genesis chapter 19 and verse 10. In verse 10, it says, but the men put forth their hand and poured Lot into the house to them and shut to the door. Now, what's going on here? Let's go back to the Genesis chapter 18. In Genesis chapter 18 and verse 11, it says, now Abraham and Sarah was old. I'll go back there later. Now, what I want to show you right here would in Genesis chapter 18, and I need to also get on Genesis 18 and 14 and 15. Okay, I can't go there yet. So in Genesis 18, you hear that Abraham met up with the three men. One of them was said to be Yah, and the other two was said to be two angels, which was on their way to Sodom to bring to destroy Sodom. And Abraham was communing with Yah regarding what if you have this many righteous, if you have that many righteous, and you have this many righteous. Now, what Abraham was saying is he was talking like this to Yah, like I normally talk to Yah, knowing that Yah know all things, but yet we talking stupid. Okay. He's sitting here talking about what if he told you if he had him in there, he wasn't going to destroy him. So he already told you, and you keep on asking him a different number. That's how I am. I'm constantly asking because I want to truly know. Okay. And Yah, believe it or not, Yah likes that. He likes that. So right here, you see that Sodom and the cities, it says the cities surrounding Sodom and Gomorrah, they were going to be destroyed. So now I need you to go to no, Yah said he was going down. I want to go back to Genesis 19 and verse 4 and 5. In Genesis chapter 19 and verse 4 and 5, it says, but before they laid down, that was the two men, the men of the city, even the men of Sodom, that means the men of that city and the men of Sodom compressed the house round both old and young. Why are y'all wanting two men that came under the roof of Lot? What do they want these men for? All the people from every corner of that city. Young men and old. Now watch this here. In verse 5, they called unto Lot and said unto him, where are the men which came in the house in this night? bring them out unto us that we may know them. Why were they wanting these men? Why? What evil was in these men to do this? And you know what I didn't like is the fact that it said, now if it just said men, that would have been one thing, but it lets you know it wasn't so much as the older men, it was young men too. What do y'all want to do with two men? All these men in the town. That's how wicked it was. It was just that heavy, y'all. It was just that heavy. That's how it is today. Males don't think they can, ain't they good. They can do whatever, it don't matter. Because they have one wicked and evil over. And now we in the end, they wiping it up. They wiping it up. And that's why they don't want women to speak. Because you'll go all the way back to the beginning. And they know. Y'all take you there. Oh, they know it. Sure they know. That's why they said women are not supposed to speak. Especially Judah. They're doing some of the worst of the worst. I was listening to it being said that he told Israel, I didn't choose you because you were great in number and you was all this and I loved you, as that word. Or I give and gave you. I didn't choose you because of that. In a sense, you were nothing. And that's why I don't understand why they want to play in this devil playpen as if they all that and some. Why can't y'all be all that? Why can't we glorify him and exalt him? Why can't we put him in that order? Oh no, we so busy talking we the people, we the true Jews, we the children of Abraham. We so ignorant. That shows you where he said until Deuteronomy 28, until they are destroyed, they so destroyed, they don't even understand you always been ugly and you still ugly. If you could only see how Yah have already seen you to be, been in captivity, I don't know how many times. How many times have he tried to reason with you and your forefathers? And you have become worse than your forefathers. Okay. So here in Sodom, and the surrounding cities, there are men, wanting them two angels that went under Lot's house to come out so they can know him. Now listen to what Lot says. This showing you exactly what took place in Genesis chapter 6 and verse 1. This is a carbon copy. Watch this. In Genesis 18 and verse Genesis 19. In verse 7, it says, let's go to 6. And Lot went out at the door unto them and shut the door after him and said, I pray. Now listen to this. I pray you brethren. See, he calling them brethren. So everybody running around here talking about brethren, don't take them at full value, y'all. Don't take them for all of that. Don't do it. Okay. Listen to what he says. Verse 7. We in Genesis chapter 19 and verse 7. And said, I pray you, brethren, do not so wickedly. So he's telling these men and these young men to don't try to have sex with those two men that's under his house. He was telling them, he prayed that they don't, and he called them brethren, that you don't do this wicked thing. Now watch this here. Behold, now this is what he's telling the men. Look, I have two daughters, which have not known man. Let me, I pray you, bring them out unto you, and do ye to them as is good in your eyes. Why would a man trade his daughters over like that? Why would a man give his babies over? Same thing today. Same thing, y'all. He says it's going to be like Sodom and Gomorrah and the day of Noah. He told you that. That was the warning for us, those that's in light. He's sitting here turning. He said, behold, now, Genesis chapter 19 and verse 8, behold, now I have two daughters which have not known man. Let me, I pray you, bring them out unto you, and do ye to them as is good in your eyes. Only until these men do not nothing. For therefore came they under the shadow of my roof. But he was willing to give his own blood to all of men. His virgin daughters, he was willing to give them away to all those men to do what they want to them. See, y'all, I try to tell y'all, these men been messed up a long time ago. Women been trying to build men and make them something that they never been. Only Yah himself can bring a man to the level of how he created a man from the beginning, not a woman. And women, for many years, even to today, think they can bring the men to the level of being a godly man, of being a man of Yah. They can't do it. You won't win. It's no way. Either they go face to face, seek ye the kingdom first. That's why I tell you, women, that's what he mean equally yoked. When you have seek ye the kingdom, she has seek ye the kingdom. Both of y'all know the kingdom, and you're coming into a oneness. Because now you know that she's a spiritual image of a feminine of who Yah is, and he's a masculine image of who the spiritual image of who Yah, the masculine image of who Yah is, and y'all gonna come into a oneness. And that's what make y'all equal. You see? They out here marrying and don't have no unity with Yah on either side. And they're going to look at everybody else and make everything right in their household and in their family when it never was right, even back in the forefathers. That's why he said the sin and iniquity of the fathers, because the father holds the seeds, you guys. And we as women been trying to keep up a home and do everything we can, but we never could win them over. They have to be won by Yah. And we didn't want that. We figured every time they fall, we'll pick them up. Or it look like they're going to fall, let me help them up. No matter what. We were always there to pick them up before they fell. They had to fall and fall and fall and fall until they get up and realize, I need Yah to help me up. I need Yah to keep me up. I need Yah to make me up. I need Yah to deliver me up. All these things should have been Yah, Yah, Yah. But we as women, they didn't took all identity and they running their ignorant tails out here talking about we are kings, leader, and ruler. We the tribe of Judah. We the children of the Most High Yah. We the Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. And bro, you just don't know how ugly you look from the kingdom. And you don't even know who you are and your ugliness of mess that you have ruined your own tribe. Okay, so listen to how Lot was willing to give his daughters. Same thing in Genesis chapter 6. When men were multiplying, they were giving their daughters over to other men. Sex trafficking. If you ever wonder where sex trafficking came in this day and time, it always exists. That's what was taking place in Genesis chapter 1. Genesis chapter 6 and verse 1. And nobody paid any attention to it. Even when it says the sons of Yah was taking them as many as they chose, because they were selling them off. And they were not women. That's why they didn't add women in there. They left it men and their daughters. Oh, yes. Oh, yes. That's the truth of the whole matter. Now, what happened is, and that's like unto today, and it's a sad thing because we continue to run around here and really make it right for everything and everybody. We got to see that this the way that this world has been deceived and controlled is truly by Satan. Look how all of the men and got away with what they done done. And like this one man told me today, that so they think. He is so right. He says, so they think they have. He is so right. Now, in the book of Judge, listen to this one. And this is the last one right here. In the book of Judge, same thing. Same thing. And I think that's why I say it's just amazing how all of these places, they have to be following Satan, the Christians and the churches and all of this, because ain't nobody ever will tell y'all what I'm telling you. And then I'm going to break it down what I mean by what they're doing, okay? So in the book of Judge, chapter 19 and verse 22, let's start there. In the book of Judge, chapter 19 and verse 22, and it reads, now as they were making their heart merry, behold, the men of the city, certain sons of, Bela, beset the house round about and beat at the door and spoke to the master of the house, the old man, saying, bring forth the man that came into the house that we may know him. Same thing happened in Sodom and Gomorrah. You see, now we're hundreds of years later, they're doing it again. You see, they're doing it again. But this is Benjamin, I believe, one of the tribes. They're knocking the door down, trying to get this one man, which was a tribe of Judah king, to come out so they can have sex with him. And this is what it says. Verse 23, and the man, the master of the house, went out unto them and said unto them, nay, my brethren. It kills me when they call them their brethren. Nay, I pray you, do not so wickedly, seeing that this man is come into my house. Do not this folly. Now you call it wicked, you call it folly. Same thing Lot did. Lot called it wicked and evil for them to want to have sex with the angels, right? With the two men that came to his house. Here this elderly man saying the same thing now that he's in this town and he lives in his house, but he has a guest in his house, which is an old king of Judah, and him and his concubine and his servant. They wanted him to come out so they can have sex with him. Okay, here it is, 24. Behold, this is what the old man told him. Behold, here is my daughter, a maid, and his concubine. Them I will bring out now, and humble ye them, and do with them what seemeth good unto you. But until this man, do not so vow a thing. They felt that it was okay to give his daughter and my daughter a maiden, and his concubine, the man's concubine, to them. Let's put them out. We ain't gonna let this man go out there so they can have him. We're gonna put these women out, their own children, and his own man's. It ain't a wife; it's a concubine, whatever they call it. But he still was willing to give her to them. And the men were the men of Benjamin, one of the tribes. And what did they do? They raped her, beat her, did all kind of things to her. She died right at the front door. And then the man that put her out, that owned her, turned around, told her, get up. Get up right now. After he put her out there, she was dead. They don't have no value. They don't understand what they just destroyed. The men today would never understand because the men of yesterday never understood. They had it their way. So y'all let them have their way today because they went just that far from his order of creation. So he let them go on. And that's what he said in Romans chapter 1. I let them turn the natural use into that which is not natural. And even their women. I let them bring pleasure to their own flesh. Because he cut them off, y'all. So all these people out here doing all this stuff, he cut you off already. That's why you're doing it. So that's what I'm saying. You can't sit and tell him that he's going to get everybody and everybody going to the promised land. No, you ain't. No, you ain't. They got away with it, child. They got totally away with it. And now why are y'all putting these women out there to these men? They asked them to have sex with the man. And why all these men, it says young and old, same situation that was in Lot. See, this is a continuing thing. To where now they trying to figure out why is the pyramid lovers of men and children, pedophiles. They are totally pedophiles. Why? This stuff been going on since the beginning of time. Men been getting away with it. See, what a lot of people don't understand, when you speak of pedophile and you had to put, let's say 500 people up that's pedophile, you subject to have one, maybe two out of the 500 females. Honestly, y'all, it's just that bad. Why do you think men have taken women's identity? But let me get to the nitty gritty of it all. First and foremost, I'll tell you this. Dealing with a man, sperms. Your mouth ain't got no business on the area or where he pour out waste, first and foremost. Anything released out of there that's not urine, it is blood. So women are drinking and taking man's blood. And men, a lot of men are doing it. Men blood into their blood. Men are taking men's blood into their blood. Women are taking men's blood into their blood. That's how low women are. All in the name of having a man. If I do this, I can keep him. You can't keep nothing, baby. You keeping demonic spirits that feels that they have to have certain things done to have you in their presence. And when you below yourself down like that and believe that Yah said the bedroom is undefiled, you sick. When he just told you right there to them, I let them, he said, what did he tell them? Romans chapter 1. Let me clear that up. Romans chapter 1, verse 24. Wherefore Yah also gave them up to uncleanness. So all that mess that y'all doing, that rectum mess, and that putting your mouth on a private area, let me tell y'all, that's uncleanness. It's nothing he created that require your mouth to be on it. When it is a place, it is created for waste. So why is your mouth on it? And when women are sucking onto a man, you're taking on blood, woman. Blood. And when men are doing it to men, they're taking on blood. Let me show you how powerful it is. So when they come from the rear end, they pumping in blood. They're pumping in blood. Seeds, y'all. Come on, don't be stupid. You're taking on seeds. And the mystery to it is, that's what a woman's cycle is for. To kill it all off. That's why this lies of a man talking about a woman having 2 or 3 men in their lives. They still up in them because they have use a fool. Now you see, okay, watch this here. Let's say they saying that's true, which is not. Well, why is it nothing wrong with your private area being in her mouth? Why ain't something wrong with your private area being in her rectum or being in another man's mouth or in women's mouth? I don't get it. But yet when she have sex with multiple men, first thing you say is she still got they energy in her. How sick does that sound? But you can get her from the rear and drop all your seeds in her rectum where there's no blood to kill it off. You can drop seeds into her mouth where there's no blood to kill it off. But yet they tell these ignorant, low down, stupid, dumb women that you done had sex with 2 or 3 men, they still in you. You stupid fools. Y'all created a woman that have a cycle. That cycle of blood is required for her to stay away from any and everybody for 7 days. That's how potent it is. Look it up. If he require a woman to stay away when she's on her cycle, why? Because the blood is potent. It's dangerous. It was created to kill off any seeds that's left in her, to cleanse her inside. So see how stupid these men have lied to women, and they believe everything a man say. Everything a man say. How could that be in you? How could 4 or 5 men sperms be in you? How could it be still stuck in you? And you have a cycle that even the one that created you to have a cycle says that you got to stay away from everybody for 7 days because you are unclean. Because that blood there, it comes to cleanse you. So it's impossible for you to have 6, 7, 8, 9 men up in you. That's how sick these men are. But yet they want their sperms in your mouth. But yet they want their sperms in your rectum. Your mouth don't have the blood to cleanse your mouth out. Fools! Your rectum don't have the blood to cleanse it out. That's dangerous. And they wonder why they're walking around with all this illness and sickness and going through all this and all this mess you're doing in the name of pleasing a man. And when you finish with him, he over there at another man's house. And you done thought you done something as a woman. You sick. You ain't do nothing but make yourself look like a fool. Live a fool and die a fool. The same mindset tells people in Isaiah chapter 4 said, we're going to have 7 women to 1 man. See how they create everything out of the order of Yeshua? He done just told them, watch this, y'all, right here in Isaiah chapter 3. The last 3 verses just done told you, I'm going to kill y'all butts. I'm going to kill y'all tails. right here. And then right here, verse 4, chapter 4, chapter 3, its last 3 verses tell me, and I'm going to kill y'all butts. I'm going to kill your tails. And then right next to the next chapter after that, 7 women to 1 man. They forgot what it just said. He going to kill your butt. So how is you going to have 7 women to 1 man? Stupid. That's the word holy that the women want to be called. Because after, you know why they on the ground? You know why they moaning? In sackcloth? It's called all the men, brothers, fathers, grandfathers, husbands, uncles, friends are all dead. And when they see that 1 man, oh, he got to be holy. I want to be called the same name he is, holy. And as you see in chapter 4 of Isaiah, he tells them, I have purged you out, letting the women know I've cleansed you. You are holy now. He wasn't talking about a man name to take on a man's name. That's the sickness that's so rooted in Judah. So much deep sickness. They ain't gonna find their way home, y'all. They don't know their way home. And that's not just them. Many people, they don't know their way home. They ain't gonna find their way home. And guess what? It ain't meant for them to come home. So I don't care how many of you all thinking you gonna hit them 4 corners and be out of here. Let me tell you something. You gonna wish you stayed in here. Woo-wee. No, you didn't go there, Deborah. Yes, I did tonight. You gonna wish you stayed in here. Because when you get out there, guess what? What happened to those that was left in the wilderness? They died quick, 40 years. You ain't even have 40 years. Because you don't know what's going to kill you out there. But you ain't going to the promised land. He already let you know. I'm going to purge the rebels out. And those that transgressed against me, you know what that means? Those that are the serpent seed. You ain't going either. You see what I'm saying? People just got y'all all bent up. So our sister Deborah, I hope you got something out of it. Because you know what? It's a lot to get. It's a lot to get. Now, I just read you verses where it shows you the mindset of men. It's like that today. It's like the day of Judge, the book of Judge. It's like the Solomon and Gomorrah. It's also like the Solomon and Gomorrah. Yeah. And let me tell y'all something. Let me show y'all something. Did y'all know when y'all approach Abraham, it told Abraham that Sarah gonna have a child. First things Abraham thinking, wow, he don't even have a fear for woman because he's at that age. Sarah laughed and said, where would I get pleasure? Why in the rest behind are y'all thinking about pleasure? He's talking about a life. Why are y'all talking about pleasure? And he's talking about life. See, Abraham was saying, well, okay, I haven't even wanted a woman, Sarah, like I would want a woman. Because he's up in old age. Why are y'all just connected to the fact that it's about y'all getting pleasure? Sarah says she's too old. She's old and she don't know if she could have pleasure. What is the wretch behind y'all talking about? I'm just going back to show you, even Father Abraham and Sarah, when y'all told him he was going to give him a child, all they thinking about is a good time. How they going to bring that time of pleasure and a good time of him going into Sarah like a man going to a woman. Why y'all caught up in there and the father didn't visit his stupid tail and told him that he's going to give him? What is it you don't get? He understands you ain't got nothing. He understands Sarah ain't got nothing. He ain't talking about what you got to pleasure the flesh. He's talking about what he going to give you. But when I read that was a part of my lesson too. But I thought that was kind of stupid. I said, now see, people don't understand. They got this thing messed up. They got the whole thing messed up. Everybody's trying to fulfill this flesh thing to where ain't nobody trying to detach themselves to the spirit realm. Had they took the way of the spirit, they would have got more out of what it means to be connected in the spirit, sexual. Oh, they can't get it. They dropped the ball way back. So he let them get what they want to get. That's what he was talking about. That's what y'all was saying in Romans chapter 1. I let them do what they want to do, Deborah. Get their pleasure on with their own body. Let them live on their own body. Because why? Why are you doing that, Father? Because they have forsaken my order, Deborah. Had they kept it where I placed it, then they'll find out there's a deeper connection that goes beyond the flesh. But they too ignorant. They want that quickie thing from the flesh instead of having something that's eternal, something that I know that is a long lasting. Oh no, they don't want that. And that's why many women are not pleased. They stay in a marriage for 15, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70 years. Our grandparents was just married to be married, knowing he was tipping and dipping. He was a rolling stone, knowing that he was even at the neighbor's house, knowing that he was at his sister's house. They didn't care. They have lost all of their identity as the female. They were stripped from it. And they even let their husband, which is grandpa and great-great-grandpa and his brother and his cousin, his uncle, mess with their babies. They didn't care. The women didn't care if there was boys or girls. They let them tamper with the babies too. That's what happened in Sodom and Gomorrah. I mean, not in Sodom, in the days of Noah. People don't want to talk about it because men, the pedophiles, have been detached to this way back. They don't want to call it what it is. And these pastors and teachers and stuff, that's why all that is founded in the church. That's why the musician, the pastors, all of them. Because that gay musician, oh, you talking about can sing. Woo! I checked him one time and he said, well, you know, ma'am, I don't know what you're talking about. Because if you knew, I travel all over the world. And he said, and these pastors, you should see what they get us. Hotels, free food, and money. Before we even get there, they set up our rooms and our place, our hotel, our everything. This has been going a long time. They've been doing it, y'all. And that's why they got a hold of these little babies. And now it don't make no difference if it's a female baby or a male baby. They're doing it to all of them. How dare you sit there and do that to your baby till she die? And then you wake up and have the audacity to go to jail and be on TV like it ain't nothing. I know it ain't his choice to be on TV because they're showing him, but there ain't no shame knowing nothing. Why? Because they've been doing it for too long, you guys. Women don't understand. These men will mess with babies. I see these couple of these black African girls go and mess with these white men, marrying them. Every time you turn around, they little girls is on some man lap. They just ignorant like that. They don't understand. If this been going on since the beginning of time, you better watch yourself. To me, if people are not detached to the Most High Yah, and they don't have him as the first and the last of their lives, I'm not going to tell you I'm going to trust none of them with mine. And I never did. Having my 2 girls and my 4 boys, no, we don't have that. And you know what else about it? We even talked about it in the house. We talked about the daughters and the sons. We talked about nobody bothering each other and touching it. That's another thing. I always talked in the household about that. Always. That's going to be a no-no. That would be a no-no. And we've always made it a topic that we talked about, you know, and I think that's what made it so easy for me too in my household, is to know everybody was okay because everybody was open to talk about anything and everything. So Sister Deborah, appreciate you, each and every last one of you all tuning in, and I hope you got something out of it. But like I said, this was a rated R truth rest within spirit and truth. The truth of the whole matter, it is already been like it is in the days of Noah and like it is in the days of Solomon and Gomorrah. We there, y'all. It ain't no such thing as we get going there. We getting there. We there. We in the day of judgment, tribulation, the wrath of Yah. Okay? And that's why he wanted you to also know, don't let it bother you being blamed. Because that's what day we in. So I, Sister Deborah, appreciate each and every last one of you. And I say unto you, shalom and shalom. Thank you.